going. Alfred Williams, hailing from Jackson, Mississippi, navigated through enduring racial divide to excel in bass fishing. Returning from Vietnam, he broke barriers as one of the few black competitors, ultimately earning a spot in the 1983 Bassmaster Classic, a historic first for a black angler. Williams' innovative techniques, particularly with a hollow body frog, led to over 200 victories. His success inspired a new generation of black anglers like Ish Monroe and Mark Daniels Jr. Beyond race, Williams' contributions to bass fishing are undeniable. His 4 pro-level wins and a legacy of mentorship for black anglers nationwide, Williams competed in nearly 300 events across Bassmaster and FLW circuits. Please welcome your next inductee to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, Mr. Alfred Williams.
Thank you. Down through the years, the Lord has been good to me. To my wife of 54 years, my daughter, granddaughter, grandson, nieces, and nephews. It is a pleasure just to be up here. I mean, it's an honor to be up here. And when I think back how all this started, it was in a room just like this. We entered a tournament, and I didn't know how I was going to be accepted. We walked in, and it was a room like this. There was a lot of, talking going on. And some of the older folks in here know when I say if we had an E.F. Hutton moment, we walked in, and everybody got quiet. We didn't know what to think. So we went over and sit at a table. And just a little after we sit down, a nice, well-dressed gentleman came over and invited us to his table to have dinner with him. And from that time on, we went on and fished the tournament. I drew out with an ex-pro football player, Perry Dunn, played at Ole Miss. I don't know, he probably played Arkansas and Missouri. But we had a good time. I mean, a good time. And until this day, we are still friends. I mean, I can see him now, and we still talk just like we did back at that time. But we were on out, and, we fished the tournament and all. And I had a spot, and I told him, I had a spot located, and he said, it'll take us a long time to get there. We was running the Ranger TR-10s, which is the top of the line, but it wasn't very fast at that time. So we finally got down there, and he says, we started fishing, and he wasn't too enthused about the place I chose, but I started putting him in the boat. And to make a long story short, I finished just out of the money. And he come to me, he told me, he said, if we'd have listened to you, we both would have did well. So I was well hooked on bass fishing. I could not wait until another opportunity would arise to give me a chance to get back on the water and see what I could do. And from that time on, I was just completely ate up with nothing but fishing. My wife says I tease about a young man, and I know, he's just like she said, just like I was. He leave fishing, going fishing. It's just the way he is. I can call him any time. He said, I had a couple hours, I'm going out there, see what they're doing. So that's kind of the way it was. But, moving forward, obviously, I qualified for the Bassmaster Classic in 1983. The first black African-American to fish the Bassmaster Classic. And my wife was there, and there was 41 other anglers in that tournament. You know, I've talked to some of them tonight. Like Coach Larry Nixon, you know, won the tournament. I know Hank Parker was there, and a couple others that in the OT fields this year tonight, I spoke with him. We was all at this tournament, but during that tournament, it was just like a family deal. I mean, we went out to dinner together, we ate together, and it came like a tight-knit group. And friends that we made, we're still friends with them today. And for a long time, when people were still sending postcards, we was getting postcards with some people who went to the Classic with. But people like sponsors me. You know, I didn't have a whole lot of sponsors. But when I went to the Classic, I spoke to one gentleman, and that's Mr. Forrest Wood. And he told him that, you know, I would like to, you know, pursue fishing. And all he said, when you get home, just send me a letter and tell me what you want to try to do. And I was on the Ranger Pro staff for 28 years. And I mean, that was just an outstanding relationship with the people at Ranger. The people at Ranger at that time was just like another, you know, family group that really, really cared about the people that came up and talked to them. You didn't just go up there. You had to visit with them when you went up there. You had to sit down and talk and, you know, pass the time of day, more or less. But, you know, that Classic deal, you know, it got me thinking about maybe I was going to try to go into fishing or whatever. And like, you know, Rick said, you got to, you know, hit rock bottom. But I didn't hit rock bottom. I was just at a crossroad. Is that I had 15 years on a government job, so I had to think about what that. I got a young baby at home, kids at home, but at that time, it's not like it is now, where you go from one tournament to the next. You know, you had just about everybody that was on the tournament trail. We go out and fish the tournament, you know, 3, 4, 5-day tournament, and we go back and work the next week. Well, you know, they don't do that now. The tournament is their work now. But I stayed with my job, and I still was able to you know, fish. You know, I would choose to fish one BASS tournament per year. It didn't cost anything locally. And then in 1988, you know, I spoke to Ranger again and told him that I would like to fish, you know, the whole circuit. And I got it arranged where I had enough time to get off to be able to fish the whole thing. Again, all that Forrest Wood says, okay. And again, I stayed on the Ranger Pro staff, you know, fishing tournaments to 2008. That's when I stopped. But people like Bruce, Odette Pratko, I called him up, you know, telling him that I was fishing. And all Bruce said, make me a list of the stuff that you need. And they started sending me, and I had lures, line, everything I need. But this fishing, you know, I just made so many friends. You know, I mean, I can't even come close to thinking about the friendships that I made and the connection that I made just through fishing. I mean, I got people, you know, since I was, you know, nominated and inducted to the Hall of Fame, people was calling me. I mean, people I hadn't heard of in 30, 35 years. And they called and wished me, you know, congratulate me on this achievement. And it is truly an honor to be standing here tonight. I mean, it's just really, really an honor for me to stand here, stand before you. And goes, they say I'm a trailblazer. Well, you didn't start out to be a trailblazer. You just started on a trail, and it got to be blazing, I guess. You know? But it's, you know, I've had some success out, you know, for winning tournaments and doing well enough in the tournament to say I was decent enough fisherman, I guess you want us to call. But there's one sponsor that I failed to mention, and that is the snag-proof lure company at the time. All it was just a little garage, that's all it was. But they put out a frog, and I modified the frog. And if you if anybody, all the fishermen in here now know that all of the frogs are based on that concept. I don't care what brand it is or whatever, it's on that concept that we came up with Snag Proof by putting the skirt on this little frog, and you know, on it. And it was such a eye-opener, I guess it was, and it still, people would see it, and they didn't want to believe it until they saw it really in action. And I had a tournament on Kentucky Lake, and I did really, really well, and I was all thrown on the frog, and that's one of the first tournaments that a frog ever did anything else. And I remember Rick Klon saying, you done open up a new can of worms, or basically something like that, on frog. But that's what they was hitting, and everybody else wasn't, on the grass wasn't really catching anything. But that little thing it's put a lot of checks in the bank for me. So let's put it like that. But I know Skeet was up here and he used up all my time, so I'm not going to. But yeah. But to the but to the Hall of Fame committee, I mean, I just want to thank them. I mean, they just been outstanding. And again, I keep going back to Bruce, but Bruce, he the one first called me and told me that I was nominated for this, and he's been working with me ever since. And the people at Praco and Major League Fishing, I mean, Captain Farm, I mean, just again, it's people, that I've known and come in that's just been so supportive of me. I just really, really, really appreciate that. And I know I probably didn't, thank enough people, but it was just so many people that helped me all along the way. And again, the bass fishing group, I mean, a lot of guys I didn't, but you don't really know. But anytime that you had a problem and you needed help or doing anything, it would be right there. I mean, was it picking you up and getting you back to the ramp, or helping you, get a boat, straighten out or something, anything like that. All you do is act. Now, they wouldn't tell you wasn't no fish yet, but I mean, they would help you in any other way that they could. They were just kind of guys they are. And again, like I said, if anybody that I misthank for helping me all those years, I really appreciate it. And like I said, I still like to do it, but my body just tells me, no, you better stop now. But again, I just want to thank you, and I'm very honored. I mean, truly, truly honored to be standing here tonight and be inducted into the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. And I love you, and I thank you.
I'd like to welcome Bruce Stanton to present Alfred with his plaque. One more time, let's hear it for Alfred Williams, ladies and gentlemen.